Hi, my name is Sheldon Livesay. I'm the ministry director for Of One Accord Ministry. And a lot of people feel like, things just always run smooth, especially in a ministry, but I can vouch for the fact that they don't. And you have to really put your trust in God during those times for God to come through and get you through those times. So I want to tell a God story today about how God got us through one of those very difficult, rough times. So this is a story about we had a thrift store that was in a different location than it is now. We're in beautiful downtown historic Rogersville, Tennessee. The building we're in now has 60 car space for parking, but the building that we were in was right on Main Street. There was a building, a sidewalk, and then the street. You would turn down a side street and there's 2 or 3 parking spaces, but customers had to park behind the buildings in parking areas and then walk to the main street to do their shopping. So we really didn't do well there as a business. Anyway, we had our business there and we had struggled and struggled and struggled, and somehow sales were going down and the bills were going up. Some of you experienced that, and that you can relate to that in your very home life. But that's how it was doing. In fact, we were getting behind her and praying harder and harder. And during that time that we were getting behind, we had gotten as much as 6 months behind on our payroll taxes. Now, we only had a full-time and a part-time staff, but I'm telling you, those taxes can rise up, and then they put interest and fees and penalties. And Jiminy, for me, that seemed like a mountain back at that time. So we started looking, what can we do? One of the board members, 1 or 2, wanted to move in just a tiny, tiny little building around the corner. And I'm thinking, if we need X amount of money now to pay a full-time and a part-time staff, man, we're going to need more than that. A smaller building isn't going to solve the answer. And down on that side street, there wasn't any parking at all anyway. So it would have made things even worse, I thought. So our board met on a Thursday night, and we had a board table. We would just set up 2 tables right in the middle of the thrift store. We didn't have a boardroom at that time, and put folding chairs around them, and we sat. And I brought this situation before our board. We had already talked about it, but now it was kind of at that breaking point. What are we going to do? The 11th hour and 59th minute, Jiminy, we just bowed our heads. We talked about the move. I just said, that doesn't seem like a viable idea to me. I've been a manager of retail stores before, and this isn't going to work. We can't even put that in as an option. We have to put our trust in God. Don't know what He's going to do. And by that time, that week, our store staff had left, and we didn't have anybody even to run the store. So we were in a real pickle. So what did we do as a board of directors? I'll tell you what you do when you're a nonprofit Christian faith-based organization. We met around our board table and did something we'd never done before. We prayed. We prayed as a board of directors. We prayed as men and women from Methodist, Baptist, and Presbyterian churches and Catholic churches. We prayed together because this was an interdenominational ministry representing those churches, and those folks were on our board. We bowed our heads and each one took our turn, just placing these things back in God's hands once again. Well, that Saturday, I happened to be in the store, and a lady and her daughter came in, and they said, we used to run a thrift store down in Florida, a pretty big thrift store, a bit bigger than this one even, and we're moving up here, and we want something to do. Do you know something we can do? We're a team, so if we came to do something for your ministry, we'd do it together. And I said, well, could you start Monday? Just the day after Sunday, so this was Saturday. And sure enough, this lady and her daughter came in. They took over the responsibility of running that store. And the store that was going in the hole, within 3 months, we had paid off every bill and we were making money. And for 2 years, that lady and her daughter were there making money that we could use to turn into food and other things that we were giving away at that time. But let me tell you, friends, Can you believe that that was a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I believe as an answer and result of prayer, God answers prayers of his people, especially when groups come together like we did as a board of directors and we prayed. So that's my story of how God delivered us out of a terrible situation for us at that time by providing someone that turned the situation around. I'll give God the glory for that. I want to thank you for allowing me to share in your home today. God bless you, and you have a great day.